up, y'all? It's J. Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment, and we're about to get into this week's boxing talk. We're going to first do a recap over the fights that took place this past weekend, and then also talk about the fights that are coming up January 30th. Now, in the heavyweight division, we had an American heavyweight undefeated Dominic Breazeale take on hard-hitting southpaw Amir Mansour. Now, this was a step-up fight for Breazeale, and he was not looking good at all in this fight early on. He was dropped and hurt badly. Mansour was definitely in control of this fight, winning this fight until the big man, 6'7", 260 pounds, Breazeale was able to land a very good uppercut and hurt Mansour in the third round, and he broke his jaw. He could not get out of the corner and off his stool. His trainer was basically pleading with him to continue to fight, but Mansour was in just too much pain, and he decided to quit in this fight. And it saved the day for Dominic Breazeale to live another day and go on with his career. Now, Breazeale, we didn't see really anything special about this guy. He didn't look like a promising heavyweight that a lot of people were talking about in the Al Heyman camp, but he's a big heavyweight. I mean, this just goes to show you that in the heavyweight division, one punch can change the fight around, and Dominic Breazeale was able to escape with a victory win and continue his undefeated record. Now, also on that card, we had a welterweight fight showdown between Samuel Vasquez, a top undefeated prospect that's coming up in the rankings, and he took his biggest test to date against Aaron Martinez, a veteran fighter who is a very tough competitor. But in this fight right here, Vasquez was in total control of the fight. Martinez was not the fighter that showed that warrior spirit that he showed against Robbie Guerrero and also against Devin Alexander. This wasn't the same fighter. This guy was basically outclassed by a better skillful fighter this time in the ring. And Aaron Martinez was hurt in this fight several times. And in his corner, he quit on his stool because he suffered an injury and he could not continue. These fighters of today are not the fighters from the past. The past fighters were hurt with broken hands, broken jaws, and also broken eye sockets, and continue to fight on through the pain, through the suffering, the bad cuts, the blood, and the guts. These were warriors of the past. These fighters today are getting paid way too much money and are not putting on the same type of performance like the fighters of back in the days. You know, that just goes to show you how the fight game has definitely changed today. Vasquez showed a good performance. He got a very good win. It was a step-up fight for him. He passed with flying colors. I would like to see this young man fight Errol Spence Jr. That's a fight right there of these two old amateur rivals that will make a great matchup between two undefeated prospects on the rise looking for that big fight. You know, these guys fighting each other, the storyline is right there. Errol Spence Jr. beat him in the amateurs, and it will be a very good matchup at this stage in their career to move along and see how good these guys have progressed since their amateur days. Who will be the one to go further in their career for that world title shot? Now, in the main event, we had the big fight between Danny Swift Garcia versus Robert the Ghost Guerrero, and these guys lived up to a very good, exciting fight. It was an excellent fight. These guys went toe-to-toe. Robert Guerrero, in the beginning of the fight, was in total control of the fight. He was looking very good, very sharp. He was boxing. He was putting a lot of pressure on Danny Garcia.
Terrific fight between these guys were firing big shots all north. Garcia landed those right hands, hooks. Guerrero, tremendous heart, going toe-to-toe for the final seconds.
After the sixth round, where I had the fight about even to that point, Danny Garcia was in total control of this fight. It became a much easier fight for Danny Garcia. He was landing some very big bombs in there, some hard, powerful shots.
When the vibe, never been war ready, don't lie. I'll drive and hold the force steady, one eye on the prize. I'm looking more fetty, both eyes on the vibe. I guess I'm more pecky. You and I know you lie, and you ain't do or die. You try.
But that power, like I said before in one of my previous videos, that power is not carrying on to the welterweight division. He's not knocking guys out, and he's not putting guys down like he was putting them down before. He definitely has that thudding power. He was landing some very good left hooks with his trademark wing shot, and I was impressed with his performance. He showed a better performance against Robbie Guerrero than Keith Thurman did and Aaron Martinez did. Even though those guys were able to drop Guerrero, I had Danny Garcia winning a more convincing fight than those two fighters. I had Danny Garcia winning 9 rounds to 3. I didn't see Guerrero winning more than 3 rounds. We had a lot of people that were booing at the Staples Center when the decision was made, but come on now. This is not no hate. I don't hate Danny Garcia. He's a good fighter. He's a solid fighter, but I'm just not a fan of Danny Garcia. I don't see him as the next Felix Trinidad or Miguel Cotto of Puerto Rico. No, but he's a very good young champion. Congratulations, and my hat's off to Danny Garcia for a very good victory win. He put on a very good performance, and he gave the fans what we wanted to see. He showed very good boxing skills in there. He's improving as a fighter. He's getting better and better. He's learning how to win in different ways, not just by the knockout. But my hat's off to Robert the Ghost Guerrero for putting up a good fight. He definitely did not look like a shot fighter in there. He gave it his all, and in that 12th round, it was an exciting round when these guys let it all hang out.
He's closing a show, a one-sided show, doing what got him to this point. And that's being the warrior that he is.
We're going to remember this. For the last 30 seconds, Guerrero.
That warrior heart in there, that determination to win to the final belt. So my hat's off to these gentlemen for putting on a great performance that night and giving boxing fans a very good fight. Now, who is next for Danny Garcia? I want to see him against Amir Khan. I think the fight between Amir Khan is a very good fight right now. Amir Khan is the #1 mandatory challenger for Danny Garcia's WBC welterweight crown that he just won, the vacant title that Floyd Mayweather relinquished. Danny Garcia, a lot of Danny Garcia fans are not wanting this fight. They're saying that he should move on to bigger and better things like Keith Thurman and guys like Shawn Porter, fighters like that. And I agree with them 100%. But he has business at hand. You know, he beat Amir Khan. Amir Khan is the bigger payday than any of these other fighters that are out there. They're all about the money. So why not make this fight? This fight is a very big, high-profile fight. It's a fight that the fans want to see. Fans, boxing fans in general, not just the Danny Garcia fans and the Amir Khan fans. Fans in general want to see the guy that they hate the most, Amir Khan, get knocked out cold once again. Danny Garcia, if you can knock out Amir Khan the way you did before, or even better, then why not do it? It's a big payday. You know, he's your mandatory challenger. You have to fight this man. Why avoid this man? I don't think that the Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia fight is going to take place in 2016. I think they're going to line up somebody like Victor Ortiz if he gets another good win under his belt, or a guy like Andre Berto to fight Danny Garcia next. I truly believe that. You know, the way they are carrying his career around is that he's being matched up against guys that he should be able to beat, but he should be able to look spectacular against, just like Robbie Guerrero. You know what I mean? Robbie Guerrero was coming off, you know, not impressive wins, and he should not have gotten this title shot, period. You know, but they avoided Khan and they went straight for Robbie Guerrero. And I think they're going to do the same thing with Keith Thurman. They're going to let this fight marinate until next year, until these guys get some wins under their column and the fans are going to be thirsty for this fight. That is the game plan for Al Heyman, to make people thirsty to want to see this fight between Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. And let's talk about Keith Thurman versus Shawn Porter. That's a future fight on the horizon, and that's a fight that the fight fans are very excited for right now. These are two top welterweights in the division fighting each other for the WBA welterweight crown, and that's taking place on March 12th. And I can't wait for it to go down. It's going to be on free national primetime television on CBS, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Can't wait for that fight. I have Keith Thurman winning that fight, but it's not a guaranteed victory for Keith Thurman. Shawn Porter is a very live underdog. This guy is an aggressive fighter, a guy that puts on a lot of pressure. He has very good punching power as well, and it's going to come down to who has the better game plan. You know, they watched the fight between Keith Thurman and Luis Collazo, and they saw when Collazo was able to hurt Thurman to the body. So you got to believe that Shawn Porter is going to go to the body against Keith Thurman, and we're going to see if Keith Thurman can use those boxing skills, because he has the better skills in there. He could use his jab, he has the better foot movement, and he's the bigger guy with the bigger punching power. And we saw that Porter was dropped against Broner. So we got to believe that Keith Thurman can hurt Shawn Porter and basically probably stop him in that fight. But the fight hasn't happened yet. We have to see how the fight is going to actually play out, because Shawn Porter could definitely pull the upset in this fight, and it could definitely change the landscape of the welterweight division, because a lot of people are looking at Keith Thurman as the future of the welterweight division. And if he loses to Shawn Porter, see Danny Garcia versus Shawn Porter later on this year, because that's a fight where Danny Garcia is going to be looked upon as the future of the division, because Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman are being molded by the PBC as the future stars of boxing. And if Keith Thurman goes down, Danny Garcia will take over that mantle as the reigning star of the division, and he will get that matchup with Shawn Porter. So I can't wait for those fights to be played out. Now, also, coming up this weekend, January 30th, this Saturday on HBO, we have the fight, the rematch between Sergey Kovalev, the undefeated light heavyweight king of the division of 175 pounds, taking a rematch against Jean Pascal. Now this fight, tell me why is it happening? It's happening because of money. Jean Pascal is fighting in Canada, his hometown, where he generates a lot of money, and there's no other fight for Sergey Kovalev until that Andre Ward fight. He has no other fighter to fight in the division. We all know that we're craving and thirsty for that fight between him and Adonis Stevenson at 175 pounds. That is the super fight between those two. But that fight is not taking place due to the politics of boxing. Showtime, HBO, Al Heyman, Main Event Promotions. These guys cannot come to an agreement where they could get a platform for they could perform and put on the fight that the fans want to see. Sergey Kovalev has to stay busy until he gets that Andre Ward fight later on in 2016. So he's taking the rematch with Pascal because it's a big money fight. But it's a fight that I see him winning even easier than he did the first time around.
Great counter right hand by Pascal. Now he gets hammered by a left hook by Kovalev, and Pascal's in big trouble. What a right hand, and Luis Pabon's going to stop it right away.
I don't know why the referee just stopped the fight. We should do it again. I should have a rematch.
We should be able to stop Pascal once again. Now, Pascal is being trained by Freddie Roach, and I'm very interested in seeing what Freddie Roach can add to his game to be a better fighter this time around and make the fight more competitive. We saw that Pascal has that hand speed and has good punching power to offset Kovalev, but Kovalev is a very strong fighter with very hard-hitting punching power, and he does have some skills. He has a good jab, and he's also controls the ring very well, and he's going to cut off the ring, and he's going to give Pascal all that he can handle. Well, we got to see what Pascal brings to the table this time, but I don't see it being any different. I see Kovalev winning this fight quite easily this time around and coming out the victor and being in line for a fight against another fighter in the light heavyweight division that's not going to put up that much resistance until that big money payday fight comes with Andre Ward. But I would like to thank everybody for watching my videos. Please continue to follow me on Instagram and also subscribe to this YouTube channel right here, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. Also join that Facebook boxing group page. I'd like to thank everyone for their support. Please subscribe. I'm J. Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment. Thanks for watching.